Good evening. Welcome to Bitcoin Generations. We talk a lot about Bitcoin here, and we talk about a lot of things in life and that are affected by money and proof of work. And that's what we're doing right here. And that is something I just wanted to just kind of push out there and let you know that this is a show for Bitcoiners, new Bitcoiners, um, and for baby boomers who are kind of slow to get into the cup of coffee here on Bitcoin. And so I would just make sure that my audio is working. Is everything working fine? Can everybody hear me? Okay. It looks like we're good. Let me double check one more thing. Audio is looking really good. Testing. Very good. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. We're all the places that we need to be. So welcome to Zap.stream and welcome to YouTube. And we are working on some other places to put this as well. So let's jump right into this because there's been a ton of things been happening. It just seems like every day there's so much going on. It's like, how can you talk about it all? You can't cover it all. But that is why I'm also um, pushing this out today because there's a whole lot of there's a whole lot. If you're busy, if you're actually engaged in doing stuff with your family, you don't have time to like navigate all these things that happen and stuff. So you have to either hit the high points or just some of it just washes past, and it's just not as big a deal as it could be if you were had all the time in the world. But not everybody has all the time in the world. So that's kind of like the goal of this rip is to kind of like encourage you to do work for the family. Um, and whether you're doing work for the family, whether you're in a support role, and let's say your dad, okay, let's say your dad, um, and you're in a support role for the family because mom has to go out and do a bunch of stuff. Hey, do that. Do that. Dads lead the way in doing that, and it's all your responsibility anyway. So if you're out, doing the stuff that your wife needs to do or whatever, but she's doing something that only she can do, she's doing that. Hey, great, wonderful, because you've delegated that. She's off doing those things that only she can do. She's excellent at those things. And so by all means, like my wife goes and she did that today. Okay. So we're doing these kinds of things. Um, Hold on. We have technical difficulty. Thank you. Speaking of, speaking of, speaking of things that only she can do that, so I'd like you to see something right here. This is a cup of tea, and it's at night when I'm recording this. And this cup of tea is you'll notice this is one of the places we used to frequent quite a bit. This tea is what's that stuff called that helps you sleep at night? And it's kind of lemon balm. Lemon balm. So she's growing some lemon balm out back, and so she makes tea every evening. She likes to drink the tea, and she asked me if I want some. Of course, I'd love to have some tea, so it helps you sleep. So that'll be great. But what I was trying to say is, as you're doing work for the family, as you're doing those things, you're stepping into whatever needs to be done, and it's not below you, and you just kind of do it anyway. Um, do it happily, and it's so important. So like, excuse me. So I would say that when you are when you are stacking Bitcoin and you're like thinking investments and you're thinking financial and you're thinking all these logistical and, highly, highly thought out decisions and things like that. It uses a lot of your brain power. And sometimes you forget, like your hands and feet actually need to be like engaged with your family. Um, if you're anything like me. So you have to, you have to have some accountability and things to help you do that. So this is a reminder for you to just remember that doing the work is like you're doing several things when you do the work. Okay, you're not just getting the work done. You're actually also helping her, maybe, or helping a child or something like that. But you're also setting the example. Setting the example. Oh, yes, boys and girls, we set the example here at Bitcoin Generations. This tea is very good. It's kind of it has a little bit of sweetness to it. She puts a little sweet in there, so it's very good. So many things going on. Let's jump into some topical things. What can we do? Doing work for the family. We could do dishes. My family tends to like forget. They just kind of have this amnesia and this blindness to like coffee cups and cups. Do you have family members who like set cups full of something all around the house, and they have who knows what kind of science experiment is going on over there? It's oh, no, 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 no. Kids, get your stuff and clean up, right? And they just forget and they just space and they're just like zoned out doing something else or jumping in the pool or wherever or whatever they're doing, and they are just out of it, not getting it done. So sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's me transitioning into that. Um, I'm noticing that my wife needs to work out more. And she's telling me this, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, okay, I'll step in so you can go do your thing, and we kind of have to have a balance thing, right? We have to balance because if we get out of balance and she hasn't been working out, she gets cranky, and then it's not good, and then we have to like get back into balance, and so and I definitely need to work out because you don't want to be around me when I'm cranky. So, food and exercise very important for yours truly, and maybe even some tea. But yeah, so I've been swimming also and doing some exercise too there. Um, so I like to play hockey and I like to swim, and so swimming is really good. Wasn't really swimming that much, and but I got in the pool and I found a pool that actually doesn't have a lot of people in it. So I started swimming, and I actually swam 500 today. I swam a 500-yard swim in one go, and then yeah, so it's great. It's great. I'm loving it. Love it to pieces. Working on the stroke. Breathing off both sides. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Builds the cardiovascular lung capacity. VO2 max, is that what that is? I don't know. Anyway, so if you haven't noticed, I'm talking about a lot of other things besides Bitcoin here. I'm talking about life and family and some of those things because if you notice, when things get rough, when stress happens, when there's crisis going on, and sometimes, if you're not in one, look out because you might be heading into one, or you might have just come out of one. So just be aware that these things can be kind of lurking around the corner sometimes. Just never know. So having a plan and having some resilience and having be able to keep your support systems going, whatever those things are that for you that make things just like okay, keep those things going, and do that, especially if you're like in your 60s or your baby boomer, something like that, man. Just take care of yourself. You've got to get exercise every day because believe me, especially, if you're, any overweight at all, yeah, just unbelievable. So, uh, so many things are going on. So many things are realizing that we're been fed a lie about medical stuff, about things that go in your arm, and uh, it's blowing my mind. I'm actually kind of a little bit upset about, um, in this particular example, about the public education system and what I did not learn in my American history. Uh, and I'll just share this with you real one quick, because in terms of Bitcoin, we know that the financial system, we know that the economic system, we know that the government has screwed over people for a long time. And if you don't know that, then you haven't done enough work, and you need to do some more homework. Um, I would encourage you to read. There's many books out there. Okay, The Big Print. You can read the Creature from Jekyll Island. Just on the economic and the financial side. Okay, so those cover that. But if you want to read, if you experienced the public education system via high school or anything like that in, I would say, North America, but definitely the United States, then you probably are aware that pretty much everything that in terms of American history prior to Columbus is like a big question mark, a big goose egg. Like there's nothing. And that's pretty much the way it has been. There's really, I mean, maybe a couple sentences on this uh, in history, and American history classes. They talk about, before the, before the before Christopher Columbus, there was, you know, the migration from, over the Siberia, and, there's just like maybe a couple of sentences of this. No longer, no longer acceptable. It's absolutely fascinating, the stuff that has been coming out of some recent publications, and one I'm going to particularly refer to is this guy. He's a PhD out of he's out of Kentucky at Answers in Genesis, and he has written several books. But the one book that I'm reading right now, and then I posted several times on it. It's called "They Had Names," and then he goes into not only the linguistic and the archaeological and the um, the fossil record and stuff like that, but he also has researched the DNA, and specifically the y the genetics from the males, I guess, from throughout history. They've done a lot of research on this, and in all these different places in North America, and they've been able to figure out all the different Indian tribes, and like when these people came here, and where they came from, and who was there before them, and there's names of these guys too. So it's absolutely fascinating that he's actually figured this out. At least he has done his homework, I would say, and they have done it according to you know what they were prescribed. It's like do your homework, do all this stuff, and they did that. They went back, and these are creationists. There's the evolutionists, and then there's the creationists, and these creation scientists. They went back and did their homework. They did all this work, and this guy has published this book, and it's absolutely fascinating. It's called They Had Names. And why don't I just bring it up for you so you can see right here? I'm not talking super loud because this is Bitcoin Generations podcast in the evening when most of the people in this residence are probably should be sleeping. but not all of them are, I'm sure. So I'm going to bring this up for you. And so you can see it. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. So I can talk really loud too if I want to. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Now I'm going to go over here and share this screen for you so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay. So this is the website for Answers in Genesis. All right. There's a lot of stuff here, but this is the book called They Had Names, Dr. Nathaniel Jeanson. And they're having a sale on it today. For $17.59 cuck bucks, you can buy a hardcover version of this book. And he goes into some more things here and explains a little bit about the book. But and they have there's another book called Traced, which is I haven't got into that one yet. But I thought this was kind of cool, this poster here. We'll just kind of look at this real quick. So this poster is of the native languages and language families of North and Central America, and it's used as a reference tool for the book. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff here. All the different Native American tribes and just some of their language also is detailed in this. It's kind of hard to see from here, but anyway, don't want to go dive too deep in all the historical stuff of Native America. You're probably wondering, what does that have to do with Bitcoin? Well, it's another thing. If you've seen the book that's been written by Jimmy Song called Fiat Ruins Everything, he goes into so many different kinds of things that fiat currency has ruined, and his history is another one. This has just been basically wiped from the face of North American history, and I think it's absolutely criminal what they've done. But it's never too late to actually start learning actually what happened, like right when this stuff is found. Okay. So this guy has been doing all this work for so long, like 15 years, he's been doing this work. And he just published this book in like earlier this year. And this is like new. This is going to change history that is potentially, okay. This will change how American history is taught in schools. He's definitely going to be a homeschool curriculum, but at how it gets taught in public schools, they're going to actually have some of this, and you're going to see a lot more awareness about this. And I mean, by all means, I'm early on this. Okay, I'm totally early on this teaching of the natural history, of the Native American history, but I personally am very interested in. I know that if you all knew more about the history and that the Native Americans were how they were, yeah. Okay, I'm just saying, because I have a personal connection with some Native Americans. My family's from Oklahoma originally, so there you go. Now you can do all kinds of deep dive on me and everything. So, but that's not all. There's more. So we've covered that one. I also want to say a couple things about okay, so I'm gonna bring this guy up here and we're gonna share him. And this is an interview. Okay, forgive me. I've got to take one more segue into this, and we're gonna share this one. This is a post that he did on X. He has a go to the I would say the 26-minute mark for the start of his segment. It's right here, and I have actually retweeted this. So if you go on my X account, um, you'll find that I retweeted that tweet, and so you can find the video of that guy. And it's a very interesting video. He has about 15 minutes where he describes his his journey in faith, but also his journey in like finding like how they challenged the creationist scientists to do this kind of work. The evolutionists were they were it's fascinating to see the back and forth between the two sides, regardless of what side you're on. So I think it's absolutely very interesting, and I think it's under the radar. It's kind of like, even more so than Bitcoin, and it's like, our actual history here in North America. So it's a big deal. If I keep drinking this tea, I'll probably be asleep. You guys will be seeing me sleeping. No. Um, So, yeah, so there we go. We don't need to see that whole thing. But let's just keep moving. Keep moving, keep moving. All right. So, I wanted to also talk about a couple other things. This week, also learned about, I introduced another guy to Bitcoin, and we had some conversation about how to work in Bitcoin, how to earn Bitcoin, how to what you can do for Bitcoin, like how you can help the network kind of work for Bitcoin, in addition to maybe earning Sats. You know, the general idea here, the goal of what I want to say on this is, we can earn fiat dollars and then we can save in Bitcoin. All right. That's definitely that's a definite strategy. But we can also help the network by strengthening the network of Bitcoin. And that is you and me and everybody else who's a Bitcoiner. And that's by running nodes. And we've talked about that on the channel before. And specifically running a listening node. So this is all something that, it takes a little bit more. It's not exactly for new Bitcoiners, but you know what? You've been doing this for maybe a little while, and you're not always going to be a new Bitcoiner. You're going to be like ready for something besides milk and honey. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be able to do that. So when you get there, you're going to want to run a node. This is something it's easy as like plugging in a computer and making sure that it's running fine. Okay. That kind of thing. All right. Not complicated. It's not rocket science, but it is computer science. So it does take a little bit of, um, I don't know, a little bit of sort of like babysitting, if you will. So anyway, with that, I would just say that there's a company that makes things really easy. And I chose to use them. I chose to use their hardware. Start9 is the one that I've mentioned before because I use them. And I would say that I'm using their hardware because I tried to get the software onto another computer that I have, and it didn't want to work as well because the particular kind of computer that I had. I have a Mac Mini that is it's an Intel-based Mac Mini that has a security chip on it, and the security chip doesn't like to run a Linux-based anything. So that was a bit of a conflict, and so I was like, kind of hit the roadblock there, and decided that yeah, like after like I had enough saved up to get some hardware. I decided to get a Start9 uh, server, and so we've got that running. And so now I've been running a Bitcoin node, and I don't run the Bitcoin, the regular software that has been going. I actually run the Bitcoin knots stuff software because I in my research, I think it's going to work for me. That's everybody's got their own flavor on what they believe is the way to go on that. I think it's best to just do Bitcoin knots. That's what works for me. And do your own research. So what I would say is, run a node, um, and I kind of wanted to share a new tweet by um, Start9. They've got this right here. They say that there's a little bit of confusion about. They say out there that some people think that Start9 is like kind of like a node in a box, and that's not really what they want people to know. They build the Start OS software, which is free and open source Linux distribution distro optimized for self-hosting. And you can download it for free and flash it to most computers. They say that this is a zero loss of functionality doing it that way. Okay. So that's the software only. Okay. That allows you to run the Start OS software, allows you to run other apps within that. One of those apps being the Bitcoin software. And you can choose a couple of different flavors of that to use. I'm just going to just say that I run Bitcoin knots, and that is not Bitcoin software advice, but it is. And getting back to Start9, they say that they also sell and warranty quality hardware at a competitive price with Start OS pre-installed as a means of funding development, rather than relying on charity like most open source projects. They go on to say that they provide world-class customer service for Start OS, their hardware, and 25 plus software applications. And so I have not actually had to use their customer service for any of the software applications, because it is pretty intuitive. But and I've actually had a friend of mine help me walk through some of that stuff, but it's there. I've heard that it's very good. There's also good documentation that you can go to that's online. So if you're at 2 a.m. and you're stuck somewhere, you need to figure something out, it's right there. And so that would be their that would be the kind of the node running update for the week. And I'm just going to kind of just keep moving here. And there's another one that I want to kind of touch on here. This is one called let's see, did I bookmark that? I don't know if I did, but there is a one called medium. No, not gonna be able to have time to do that one. Okay, so we're just gonna keep moving on. So now remember, can we go back to some of the basics? Bitcoin is can be like, if you look at like a Bitcoin, then it would be like a part of a Bitcoin would be like point. You see a decimal place, and then you see some zeros, and then you see some numbers. Okay, so that can be going out to like 8 numbers, and if you go out like 0.000 and you go out eight times, and the 8th one is a 1, then that would be 1 Satoshi. If you go back and you did 7 of those, that's 10 Satoshis, all the way up to, if you go like 0.01 Bitcoin, is 1,000,000 Satoshis, all right? And 10,000,000 Satoshis is zero point 0.1 Bitcoin. So it therefore stands to reason and logic and math that 100 million Satoshis is 1 Bitcoin. Okay, so these are the fractions of Bitcoin, and that those are it can be confusing. Some people want to equate the calling of Satoshis Bitcoin and Bitcoin Satoshis, and that uh, and while on a pure logical basis, that there might be an argument for saying that it practically, I think it's actually confusing for people. So I think it's not good to confuse that. All right. And let's see. I'm just going to kind of keep moving here. We're going to kind of wrap this up in a little bit. Just wanted to also say that in mining, in the mining of Bitcoin, we also have a couple of new developments. There's one out here called let's see, yeah, it's the new proto rig just came out, and so that's going to be pretty interesting. Um, Let me see if that's available. Might be more difficult than it's worth to try to find that. Yeah. Okay. So this is worth actually mentioning, and let's go right into this. And okay, so we're looking at again, we're looking at X. My apologies. I know I love Nostr, and I'm going to show you something on Nostr in just a minute. Something very cool. And I love what's being developed on Nostr actually more than I like X. So my apologies. But here we are on Proto. This is a big upgrade in the Bitcoin mining space. This new development in mining is supposed to be going to change the way that Bitcoin mining infrastructure and is done, is kind of operationally and logistics is taken care of. And what they've had to do with these is they've had to if some of these mining rigs, and remember these mining rigs are just like computers that do a whole lot of compute. Okay, they do math, they do this work, right? And they generate a lot of heat. And so as they do this, there's stuff that heats up is prone to breaking. Okay, it just does. And so as this stuff breaks, and it's not user friendly when it breaks, right? You just got to unplug the machine. Maybe you have to power it down. You have to unplug the machine. The machine is down for a while. It may not be able to be fixed. If you might. I don't know the logistics of that, and I actually know some guys who are familiar with that, and so that is something that I have to write down while I'm thinking of it. Yeah. So we'll make a note to do that. And the too long didn't read part of this is that these are replaceable hash boards. They're going to save. 15 to 20% with each cycle. Works with legacy facility setup. So this stuff that's already set up, these things can work right inside there. And whether or not they actually can be um, actually swapped out in while the thing's actually running, like, like a hash board or something like that. They're supposedly able to like swap these out. Um, this is brand new, so we're going to be learning a lot more about this, and I think it's pretty interesting to see in the Bitcoin mining space what this is going to look like and how it's going to work. So these are these are being manufactured in the United States. That is a big deal, and that is going to change some of the things that are. Um, I think it's excellent. We're also now I'm not sure about the chips. We need to have some. I need to have another guy on here to help me to kind of answer some of those questions. That is something that I need to do as well. So I've got that noted there. Um, okay, so we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going back and back and um, yeah, yeah. This is. I saved this because you know this is interesting. You think about this. This is two technologies that were used, and this may not even be actual historical picture, but it's probably AI. But the point is that you're going to have you have your U.S. fiat dollar on the left, and you got a whole lot of those, and then on here on the right, you've got Bitcoin with the little headlights and the four wheels, um, and you know there's no doubt that these two are going to share the road for a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a sudden switch over. I don't think it's going to be painless either. But we are going to see two different two different things as we transition from the fiat dollar to the electronic digital currency that is uncensorable. And there's interesting. It's very interesting. All these different things that they're going to be that they've done the work on the stable coins, and stablecoin legislation, and trying to always got to have a middleman. Always got to have the middleman. No matter what they do, Wall Street always has to have their hand in something. So they've got their hand in at least they have their hand in. And if you look, uh, Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, and some others have their hand in stablecoins in a big way, and they have their hand in Bitcoin too. So they've got all the oars in the water for this, and they are not going to miss the ability to make billions off of stablecoins, and stablecoins are going to be able to be dumped all around the world, and our debt in this country is going to be bought up by these stablecoins like Tether. I wish I had the numbers on Tether right here for you, but Tether has a lot of U.S. debt that they've purchased already, and they're gonna keep buying it, I believe. So anyway, this is let's not overdo this here, but I just kind of want to cover uh, the main point is that we're moving so fast into the second half of this. We're in the second half of 2025. It's the end of August, and we're heading right into September here, and I mean, we're looking at you know looking at the price of Bitcoin has been $109,000 today for one Bitcoin. Right now it's 109,527. The Sats are you can get 913 Sats for per US dollar, and that is remember I've mentioned this before on the show. Um, 913 sats. That's a pretty good price. So 109,000. We haven't seen it that low in a while, but Bitcoin's volatility is baked into the cake, baby. So, just get used to it, and you're gonna see you're gonna see a lot bigger numbers appear, and these numbers are going to get a lot smaller. You're not going to get nearly as many sats per US dollar as you're seeing right there, I think. So anyway, there we are. You know, what what is the what is the main what is the main thrust in trying to get up to speed on all this? There's so many different kinds of things you can be looking at. You can be looking at mining. You can be looking at heating your house. You can be looking at um, how to decentralize them and then strengthen the network even more by running a node. These things are all something that you've really got to consider. Um, but wherever you are, whatever you're able to do, that's what you can do. And so, if you're new and you're a little bit older and you're new to Bitcoin, don't stress. Don't worry about it. You don't need to feel like this, like, oh no, you know, uh, that's not a good thing. Okay. Because if you bought Bitcoin and you didn't know what you're doing, you're going to be like, I got to get rid of this. You're going to be jumping out as soon as you jumped in. So that's why you want to do your homework and do your own research. Make sure you're comfortable with the kind of things that um, you're going to be putting your money in. You cannot, I mean, you just cannot, uh, you cannot find a better way to store your value than a sound money like Bitcoin. It just is. And so, with that, I would say, we're going to wrap this thing down. I'm really happy that recently I got some things taken care of with family. That's probably why you haven't seen so much of Bitcoin generations and stuff. But I'm really glad that we're able to get out and get some more signal out there. Um, Remember to stay humble and stack sats. If you don't know how to do that, you need to put comments in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel. Share and like. Do all that stuff. If this is not your cup of tea, you're not going to be doing that. But if it is, then great. We want you to come back, see Bitcoin generations again. We'll be bringing back more information. We're going to have more guests. I know that it's the summer is kind of winding down, and thank goodness. I've had so much on my plate. It's not even funny. But thankful for you, and I'm thankful for your work in also helping spread the news of that Bitcoin is sound money, and that there is no second best. You've just got to get some. And so, anyway, with that, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next Bitcoin Generations.